try to show you what life was like in the coal camps. Everything was owned by the company, your house, the stores, schools, church, and they didn't just control your job, but they controlled your whole life. They paid you in scrip, which we have some examples right here. They would punch holes in it to decipher whether it was spent or not. And sometimes it wasn't even for a significant amount. So right here we have one that says good for 1 loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an example of a pay statement, so you can see that at the end of it they got like $4, which is crazy.
I know these miners' badges. This is from Monaga.
Yeah, the Monaga mining disaster. That was the largest mining disaster in American history.
Okay.
Each one, these are kind of like dog tags, so they would wear these
to identify them when
to identify, yeah. Here's an example of a hat that they would wear. As you can see, there's no heart on it. So here's an example of what they would pack their lunch in.
Dinner buckets.
A dinner bucket, yeah. Whenever I lived in Indiana, I would tell my friend, I would be like, yeah, I pack my fiance's bucket. And she'd be like, bucket? I was like, I guess that's just like a West Virginia thing, we call it.
Okay.
But here is the company housing in Itman. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but this is in Wyoming County.
I'm not familiar with that.
So back here's like where they lived, and then this building actually still stands. I drive by it, I'm like, oh wow. I never knew what it was whenever I was a little girl, but now that I know what it is, it's pretty cool that I've like drove by it and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, living like this obviously sparked some rebellion, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Everything was owned by the company. They didn't even get to pick how they were indoctrinated. So they went on strike in 1912, the Paint Creek, Cabin Creek strikes. Their demands were simple. They wanted fair pay and the right to shop where they please and recognition of their union, but instead of that, they were met with evictions and violence, and a group of armed detectives and guards were hired to control the camps and intimidate the miners, so there was a lot of gunfights and stuff, and they ended up declaring martial law. This is an example of the tent that they would live in after they got kicked out of their homes. I'm sure a lot of death happened when they lived like this because there was no running water or anything like that. No vaccines back in those days.
No.
So a lot of sickness, I would say.
Now who's these in these pictures here?
So this is Harold Houston. He was a member of the UMWA attorney. Ben Chain. This is actually his mugshot.
Okay. And that's both Franks, Keeney and Mooney right there,
yes.
right?
It says, although he only completed the 6th grade in school, Frank Keeney believed that self-education was crucial to improving the lot of his family and the miners. In her autobiography, Mother Jones writes, of meeting Keeney as a youngster, I gave him a book one Sunday and I said to him, go up under the trees and give that a read.
Oh, is this one of their possessions?
Yes. After the strikes, clashes still continued, and miners kept trying to organize despite the risks. By 1921, tension amongst coal companies reached a breaking point. Thousands of armed miners began a march toward Logan County. Sheriff Don Chafin was backed by coal company money, and he blocked their way, and that led to the largest labor uprising in American history. Here's some examples of Coalfields detective agents. This is the badge that they wore in one of their business cards there. And then here is Sid Hatfield. So after he died on McDowell County's courthouse steps, that really sparked some rebellion in the miners because he was a huge activist for them.
Mm-hmm.
And after he died, they were like, oh, so they're killing the people who are for us.
Now, is this Sid Hatfield's badge here, or is that just an
That's
example?
just a Matewan police badge.
Okay.
Here is a picture of Don Chapin. He was the one who blocked the miners, backed by coal company money. And here is some of his deputies. As you can see, they're dressed real nice.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the day that they buried Sid. It rained really hard that day. Oh, and I always show people this. This is his wife at the time. The Battle of Blair Mountain. We actually have a member on our board named Kenny King. He goes up on Blair Mountain and he's kind of like a self-taught archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
And he found all these bullet casings up there. And he found actually where they would bury their weapons, where they weren't allowed to take them off the mountain.
Really?
He found this gun encased in the mountain. Buried. That's kind of crazy, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then here's some more examples of some of the stuff that he found. More weapons. Archaeological finds. He found that in 2006. Anyways, during the Battle of Blair Mountain, it was basically the miners against machine guns and federal troops, you know. So they lost the battle, but they didn't lose the war because we got a lot out of it. We got unions and more fair work, you know.
Now, what could you tell me about the bandana?
The bandana, so they would wear that around their neck as a way to signify that they were on the same team as each other. They couldn't speak the same language, a lot of them, but they knew when they seen that bandana, like, oh, there's one of us, you know?
I'd say that's where the term rednecks originated
yeah.
from, right?
A lot of people say that it's because they was out in the sun and they got a tan neck, but that's not true at all. It's actually from the redneck bandana from the Battle of Blair Mountain. Here is an example of the bomb that they dropped. It's a replica.
Right.
Don Chapin's forces dropped that on there. Yeah, here's some of the suppressed history. Let me find the... There's actually a lot of it here.
Wow.
Lots of suppressed history. This is John L. Lewis. So he was the president of the UMWA at the time that all this was happening.
From about 1920 to about 1960.
Yeah, and he was trying to get this recognized on like a wider scale.
Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about some of these pictures right here?
So this was the UMWA baseball team, the United Mine Workers of America baseball team. Bill Blizzard, he was on the team. And here is a picture of John L. Lewis with this painting, very intense eyebrows.
Is this one of the tents that was going on that they were living in at the time?
No, I think, let's see. Oh yeah, this is a tent colony.
What about some of this stuff right here?
So, this was on a postcard. This was another postcard too. Back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
This woman, they called her, she was Miss Isabel. She actually, during the Battle of Blair Mountain, while it was going on, she cooked all of them meals. She was just peacefully up there cooking meals while they were dropping bombs. So she's an inspiration. She was like, I'm going to make sure these men are fed while they're fighting. The battle lasted for 5 days, and like I said, they lost, but I don't think they lost at all. Because they won the war, you know?
They did, yeah.
Donated by the, it's at WVU, the engineering school up there. But inside there's some more cartoons that you can read. All affiliated with the mine wars here. Next year we're going to be doing it on black line.
Okay.
And the year before this, it was on the teaching strike, so we just like rotated it. It's different every year.
Okay.
Yeah. Wilma Steele. She has a lot of like, she's a collector of this kind of stuff.
Anything in particular about the collection you could tell me?
So here's some coal scatter tags. They, well, it says it there.